Freedom Coach Barbie Armenta. It is my passion to inspire women to bravely live their most authentic and purposeful life. And you are watching Brave Conversations with Barbie. And I'm so excited you're here. Richard and I have had some exciting news that I've wanted to share with you. And I just want to thank everyone for all the prayers and blessings and congratulations and stuff we've received on Facebook. If you don't know, Richard and I signed a publishing contract with Kregel Publishing to write a book this year. So we've been in the process of writing. We will finish it up this year. We're wanting to do kind of a book study. So we're working on creating the study part and the questions, and because we didn't want to ever just tell our story. We want it to be something that is giving you tools and equips you in your life. So we're letting God write that part, and it's just been an exciting journey. But it has been a journey. It has been over the last couple years that we've been in this process of writing proposals and chapters and pitching it to publishers, because that's just the route that we felt God was leading us. We are blessed to have gotten a publisher. We're excited. We've looked at opportunities with self-publishing, and people have opinions of both, but this was just the direction that we felt God leading us, and we just continued to persevere down that path. So the words that God has given me for our ministry and for my coaching was courage, commitment, and faith. And that's what that takes, is just that to making a decision when someone says you should write your story, to actually do it, and then to persevere and just have that commitment, is a walk of faith. There were plenty of times that we wanted to quit or go a different route, and we're just so grateful that we didn't, because we feel like this is exactly where God wanted us to be. And it's a long process. We will actually be in bookstores in 2019, and we cannot wait to be able to share that with you. But in the meantime, since we have this platform, I wanted to start sharing kind of some things that are coming up for me as I go through this process. This is kind of me putting my brave on, as I always tell you to do, because as I'm going through this process, all of these books that you see to my right, these are my journals. And I spend a lot of time journaling, and I always say, if anyone ever read my journal, I would be devastated, because I seem so pathetic or so ridiculous, or just all those different feelings that you get when you're talking about your private things. Some things you only share with your girlfriends, and some of these things I don't even share with my girlfriends. So, but I am using them to write the book, because it really helps me kind of remember where I was and what I was thinking and what I was feeling as I went through just my journey of life. So I'm going to start sharing some of these with you, and this is what vulnerability looks like, and authenticity, because it doesn't get much more real than this. And it has been a difficult decision on my part, but I just pray that someone is inspired, that I'm not alone, that there is something in here that resonates with you, and there is something about thinking, I am not crazy, I'm not the only one that felt this way. And so I'm hoping that someone else is inspired or given hope, because there was a time in my life where I felt like I lost hope. It's been probably almost 13 years ago that I got divorced, and I had been in a emotionally and verbally abusive relationship, and I will probably share a little bit more with you on that later, of what that took, of actually getting out the door and leaving that relationship. But I did that in about 2005, and after that I really felt like I had lost hope, and I was holding on to God with all that I had, for Him to provide for us financially, to take care of my kids and all of that. But then there was this dating part that I thought I had all figured out. If anyone had asked me, I really would have thought, I've been married twice. I have 3 kids. I actually had someone say to me when I wouldn't sleep with them on a date, who are you fooling? You have 3 kids. And maybe I just didn't want to sleep with them. But so that was kind of how I felt too. Like, it's too late for me to have that happily ever after. That's something that, you grow up in church, and you surrender those things to God. And if I didn't do it right then I certainly can't do it right now. And so I didn't want to have values and be a moral person. And, I didn't sleep with someone on the first date, and, tried to do the right thing, and just be a good person in general. But I was also seeking validation. I was seeking to find my value, figure out who am I now. I was a wife and a mother, and and now I'm starting this new life. And I know that there's probably a lot of us, if you've been through that, if you've been through that time of divorce, it's like, I'm going to reinvent myself. I'm going to be someone new now. And who am I? Who am I really? And who am I authentically? And I was seeking for someone else to give me that. I was looking for a person to tell me I was beautiful, to tell me I was worthy, to tell me I was valuable. And the reality was that's what God's already done. But I wasn't listening. I was listening to God with everything else, but when it came to dating, and I was looking for someone else to give me that. And so I was consequently not really dating the right way. And then I came to a place where I had been online dating. I had kind of given up on online dating and was just trying to spend time, just me and my kids. I had dated a guy for a few months it was awful, and I thought it was fabulous after the first date, but it really wasn't. And suddenly broke up with me after a few months. And so here it was a few months later, I was facing a week without my children. They were going to go to spring break with their dad, and I got an email for a 7-day free trial for Yahoo Personals at the time. It's now part of Match.com. And I was like, all right, well, maybe this will give me something to do while my kids are gone. And so I went back online, and one day I got an email that said, padlock looking for the right combination, and led to this journal entry that was in '08. So I had been divorced for just a few years, and then, so I write this. I met the most amazing man this week. His name is Richard. He's completely different than any man I have ever met. He has this larger-than-life personality. He's incredibly handsome and has a huge heart for the Lord. Being near him gives me butterflies. I have never had such a feeling of wanting to know everything about someone. Our first date, we just totally clicked. We talked, we laughed, we danced. It was perfect. God, I hope so much this is for real. And why I don't want anyone to read it seems so pathetic at the time. But so our second date, we made some bad decisions, and we were kissing on the couch, and then he shared with me that he was not going to be planning to not be intimate with anyone. He wanted to wait until he was married again. And I said, wow, that is so great. I so wish I would have known this before. I really like him, and I so hope I didn't ruin it. I know I was talking to God. I said, I know you know my heart, but he doesn't. Please put it in his heart to desire to know me, to really know me, because I so desire to know him. And it's so embarrassing to share that. But in that moment, he knew, because I was kissing him on the couch, that I was probably willing. And so I was so worried, because here I finally meet this man that we all say we want to meet, the one that wants to respect us and do it right. And I thought, I have screwed this up, and he's not going to want to be with me because, we're not on the same page. And so I was so nervous that I had already screwed it up, and I met this great guy. So, I heard this sermon this morning, and it was Stephen Furtick. Anyone that knows me knows I listen to Stephen Furtick of Elevation Church all the time. But he was saying that sometimes we like the idea of God doing a new thing, that to have that change. I thought this will be great. Someone that really wants to do things God's way. We like that idea of it. But he said, we like the idea of it more than the process of actually changing for it. I could skip the middle of this story and just tell you that today we have been married for 5.5 years, and we have this wonderful godly marriage that we keep God in the center of it, and we have this spiritual connection. We're best friends, but you would miss seeing the miracles of God because he shows up in the middle. Stephen Furtick saying we don't like the process. That was the thing that Richard said to me all the time. Just enjoy the process, because we dated for 4 years. And, I don't tell people that that's what you need to do. Everyone's journey is different. But what we do have to do is just take it one day at a time and let God work on us, because he had a work to do in me, which I always thought, how long does it take? How much work does God having to do on him? But it was me, because he used Richard to point me to him. That he was the one that wanted to give me my value, my identity, my purpose, and show me who I was authentically. And I'm grateful he used this gorgeous guy to do that. But the whole time, that process of walking in obedience, of dating God's way, it wasn't just about having a great marriage, which is great. That's a bonus, really, because what he really wanted to do was point me to him, that I would find my self-worth in God and not in a person, because I had spent way too much time. And when I had put that on my ex-husband, when he belittled me or said things to me, that I also allowed him to take that away from me. And no one can take away from you what God gives to you. And so that was the place that he wanted to get me to. And so I just want to be able to share that process with you, and just kind of what that journey looked like, because that is where the miracle happened, was in the middle. And I'm blessed with the results of it now. It doesn't take away the problems and you still deal with the everyday life, of finances and, just stuff, of jobs, and in a blended family you deal with kids and exes and extras. And so there's still all that. But what happens is we're stronger together, because both of us are focused on God and allowing him to bring us side by side. So I just want to invite you into this journey as I'm processing through it and putting it on pages, that I want to just be able to share a little bit with you along the way. So I hope that you enjoy it. But I would love for you to visit us on our YouTube channel, on our website, rightcombination.net. I'm going to be doing some Facebook Live. I'm terrified to do that, but I'm going to. Because this is Brave Conversations, and I want to have conversations with you. So you can join me live on Facebook. You can comment on the below these posts. But I want to hear from you. I want to hear what's happening through your process, through your journey of just finding all that God has for you. If you want to talk a little bit more about it one-on-one, I'd love to do free calls to just hear where you are, where you want to go, and kind of what that middle looks like for you, because God is in those gaps. And so I would love to just hear where you're at and maybe walk with you through that. So, but I look forward to hearing from you. And until next time, remember to put your brave on.